Hello everybody, this is Payless Rob and the MaKaElectric Rebuttal channel, returning to YouTube after kind of an extended absence. Good to talk to all of you. Thank you for dropping by. It's been a while since I posted a video, and I want to thank all of you who, oh geez, about 45 people, 45, 46 people have private messaged me over the last few months asking when I was going to do another video and things like that. And while I've been keeping up on my comments, which was the core existence of the MaKaElectric rebuttal channel, it was pretty much a comment-oriented website. Then I got so riled up by some of MaKa's antics that I decided to make a few videos. And then I took some time off to rethink what I wanted to really do with this channel, and was what I was doing making a difference? Now, granted, about 45 people contacting me compared to what MaKaElectric has as far as subscribers and viewers is inconsequential. It's basically nothing. But the word is getting out. And the fact that every time I make a video, it's made aware to me that MaKa knows about it, that means something. That means we're getting through. And if you are just dropping by this channel for the first time, if you were looking around YouTube or somehow, if you're a fan of MaKa and somehow got to this channel, what this channel is all about, and I need to reiterate this every so often. If you don't know who MaKaElectric is, then you don't have a lot of reason to be here. But if you're familiar with him to any degree, if you've been watching the progress of his channel and the progress of his thinking and the progress of what he says over the last few years, since 2008, then you know who he is. Okay. And he has said many times that, and he's absolutely right, one of the fundamental rights we have as American citizens is freedom of speech. Obviously, in any kind of civilization, you have to have some set limits. And we go back to the classic example of if you're sitting in a movie theater and the urge comes over you for no reason to stand up and say, fire, everyone get out, or bomb or gun, and there's no reason to say that, then no, that right to do that is quashed and you'll probably be arrested. Because the rights of the need for a civilization to function once in a while puts limits on one's freedoms. Now, he's not here for me to ask him, but if I were to ask George Washington or Benjamin Franklin or Thomas Jefferson, if we're all sitting in a room packed with people, obviously they wouldn't know what a theater was then, or we could say, of course, they went to plays and things. If you're in a theater watching a play, Mr. Jefferson, and I decide to stand up and say fire or gun just because I felt like it, I have a feeling he would say, no, that's not the right thing. That's just speculation on my part. I might be wrong, but I don't think so. So my point is that MaKaElectric, of course, has every right in the world to get on YouTube and give his thoughts and his opinions and his speculations. But as I've said all along, the reason why the MaKaElectric rebuttal channel exists is because I have a right, or anybody has a right, to get on YouTube and rebut or counter what MaKaElectric or anybody else has to say. If you're a frequent viewer of Von Helton, you know that the person that does kind of the same thing but much better than I do is Secular Opinion. And there's all sorts of people on YouTube that do kind of the same thing. Why? Why do we do it? Because we believe in freedom of speech. To put it right back in MaKa's lap. If I'm on YouTube watching MaKa say something, then I have a right to counter that if I feel that there's a countering argument. MaKa loves to quote the Founding Fathers. And you can Google this. I don't know which Founding Father it was. It might have been more than one. But they said a vigorous discussion in American society is what's necessary. I'm paraphrasing. Is what's necessary to keep this place going. And I think a vigorous discussion is what you're seeing right now in Congress. True, it's gotten to the point where nothing's getting done, but that's another story. You have to get out there and vote to get people in office you think will or might or kind of sort of will do what you hope they will. Chances are these days they'll disappoint you, but at least you went out and made your voice heard by voting. But the main reason why I got back on the air here is to talk about something that is just so typical of MaKaElectric and his bullshit. You see, we've gotten to the point now with MaKaElectric where he is now, 5, 6, maybe 7 years removed from having a job. Oh, let me get into something else before I talk about that. Many of you people who have been private messaging me have been including some rather personal information about MaKaElectric. Now, it's true that MaKa has put a great deal of his life out there on YouTube. He's put his real name. Obviously, he's put where he lives. He's talked about personal relationships and other aspects of his life. That's his business. And I have in the past occasionally referred to some of these things during my videos. But I'll reiterate, I have never, nor will I ever, use any information about MaKaElectric that he hasn't put out on his own YouTube channel. But I have decided I won't even do that. I'm done with anything personal about MaKaElectric. About anything about his personal life, his name, where he lives, the company he used to run, anything like that. Because it's not germane to the things he says on his YouTube channel and the rebuttals I make on this channel. So if you're sending me that kind of information, I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the fact that you watch this channel and that you want to update me on things, but please just stop because I'm not going to use them. And chances are I'm just going to delete it if I see it's heading that way because I just don't care. I don't care about MaKa's life outside of his YouTube channel. And again, even if he says things about his life that don't correspond to things he says about the government or asteroids or comets or any of that shit, I'm not going to use it. So just stop sending that, okay? I respectfully say that, but just stop. What mainly got me back on the air here was this awful shooting at the Los Angeles International Airport a few days ago. Who's this guy, Anthony Ciancia, the guy who allegedly did the shooting? There's a good chance that he's going to jail. If he survives, I guess he's pretty badly hurt, but we'll see what happens. But there's a lot of witnesses. So MaKaElectric got on the air and talked about this situation, the LAX. And that really got me going because he had some pretty nasty things to say about the TSA. Now, I'm not going to talk about TSA exactly. It's a government agency that exists, and right now there's nothing anybody can do about it. It's poorly run, agreed. But I think it's necessary because I don't want to be on a plane sitting next to a guy who has a bomb in his shoes. I don't want to be in a plane sitting in the same plane as a woman who has some kind of plastic explosive crammed up her vagina. These things need to be dealt with because we are in an age where terrorism is rampant. Now, of course, MaKaElectric doesn't like hearing that. He believes in complete, unabashed freedom, as if, as human beings, we're civilized enough to not need any controls. The answer is no, we're not. Look what happens when the lights go out in a city. People loot. Look what happens when a young woman is walking by herself down a street. She gets grabbed and raped. The freedoms that we have to be adjusted to the kind of civilization we're in. But concerning this TSA officer who was killed, his name was Gerardo Hernandez, 39 years old, about a week away from being 40. And MaKaElectric, on I think November 5th, if you go to his page, his YouTube channel, youtube.com/MaKaElectric, MaKaElectric. Go to videos and find one that says, I think around November 5th. I can't point it out to you because if I do any kind of imaging of his channel, MaKaElectric makes a complaint to YouTube and it's taken down. So even though MaKa stresses freedom of freedom of speech, when I want to utilize his speech specifically, I can't do it because he said, no, you're not free to do that. That's interesting. But if you go to the November 5th YouTube video, during that, he says, paraphrasing again, no, I'm not in favor of anyone getting shot and killed. But if you ask me to feel sorry that this TSA agent is dead, I can't do that. That's basically what he said. He did not say he was glad the TSA agent is dead, but he kind of got around that by saying, if you want me to say I feel sorry, no, I can't do that. Now here's a guy, this Mr. Hernandez, who had two young children. And because he had children, he needed to work. He saw an application for TSA officer. He applied. He got it. He had a job. He was doing the job that his bosses trained him to do and that he was expected to do. If through some mechanism of government, the entire way TSA handles how they deal with people was changed, let's say there was some way that TSA changed things that would make MaKaElectric happy. I don't see how that's possible. Let's just pretend. Then he would have been retrained to do it that way, and he would have done it that way. To say someone should be killed and have a U.S. citizen say, I really can't say I feel sorry about that, because this person is doing their job, is beyond ridiculous. It shows a callousness and a classlessness that people like MaKaElectric have. I started saying something a few minutes ago. I'll get back to it. MaKaElectric has chosen to keep himself out of the workforce since 2008. And that's his business. But I would submit to you watching this that anyone who does that, now MaKa said there's no jobs. Well, I gave him a lot of job possibilities. I sent them to his website and he ignored them or mocked them. But to criticize anyone who has kids to support and a wife and goes out and gets a job, to criticize that person is just beyond the pale. It's just ignorant. Truth is, MaKaElectric has done nothing to contribute to society since at least 2007 or 2008, probably beyond that. Why he doesn't work anymore, what happened to his former business, again, that's the personal stuff I'm not going to talk about. He said he did lose his business. Okay, set that aside. He said it wasn't his fault, it was the government's fault. That's where we get into talking about stuff, but that's for another video. But I would like you watching to take a moment out after watching MaKa's video. Please do that. Watch the November 5th video. Put this on pause, then come back. Watch it twice if you need to. I don't mind driving traffic to MaKa's channel. That's fine. Let all the people in the world see what's going on over there. Anyway, I would like you to take a look at this report from CNN about Gerardo Hernandez, a man with a wife and 2 children trying to earn a paycheck.
You really need to watch this next story because the widow of that TSA officer killed in that brutal attack at LAX speaking out. Listen.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming out. I know you've been waiting for a statement from the family. Thank you for respecting the fact that we are hurting. My husband did pass away. But here is a little statement. Gerardo was the youngest of 4 boys. He was born in El Salvador and moved to the United States at the age of 15. He graduated from Los Angeles High School. We met in 1994 when I was 16 and he was 19, and have been together ever since. We married on Valentine's Day, 1998, and have 2 beautiful, wonderful children. Gerardo worked for the TSA organization at LAX since 2010 as a transportation security officer. He was always excited to go to work and enjoyed the interaction with the passengers at LAX. He was a joyful person, always smiling. He took pride in his duty for the American public and for the TSA mission. Gerardo was a great man who always showed his love for our family. He was always there to help anyone in need and always made people laugh with his wonderful sense of humor. He was a wonderful husband, father, brother, son, and friend. Gerardo will have been 40 next week. I am truly devastated. We are all heartbroken and will miss him dearly. Thank you very much.
Okay. MaKaElectric says the TSA shooting in Los Angeles International Airport was a hoax. He says that woman is an actress, that she's full of shit. She didn't lose a husband, or if she did, it wasn't really her husband. It's just somebody acting. It was a hoax. Those of you who watch MaKaElectric and believe in what he says, sit down for 5 minutes and think that through. That woman is an actress? I call bullshit on that. Here's another thing. MaKaElectric, during that same video I referenced earlier, talked about the first photo of the TSA shooter, this Anthony Ciancia. And he told us to look at this photo. And look, that's not blood. That's ketchup. Did you ever see blood that looked like that before? Well, guess what, asshole? Many people, when they get shot, as you can see, he got half his face shot off. When they get shot, they throw up. That is blood and vomit, you idiot. And if it took a couple of days to read what was really happening instead of getting on the air immediately and saying, "Oh, that's ketchup. This guy is a mannequin." No, he's a man who's been shot he was shot in the mouth. Half his fucking face is gone. That's why he's like that. You know, about a month ago, I was tuning around on cable, and I came across Animal Planet. And there was a thing about crocodiles and about their lives and how they hunt. And they stay low in the water with just their snouts sticking up, and how they'll slowly creep to the edge of a river. There was a herd of some horse-like animal, and this crocodile jumped up and grabbed this small baby horse thing by the ass and started to pull it into the water. And guess what? This thing immediately threw up all over the place. How does that fit in? Well, this man here and that horse thing are mammals. And sometimes when traumatic injury happens, we throw up. He had major vascular damage to his mouth and upper respiratory system. When the vomit came through, it picked up all that tissue and blood. You know how much blood is in the neck and mouth? That's what you see. That's not ketchup. So that's what we have to deal with when we're dealing with MaKaElectric. Bullshit. Predetermined bullshit. Here's the situation. MaKaElectric draws a certain amount of money from YouTube. That's all he's got. That's all he cares about. As I've said, he doesn't go out and look for a job, and that's his business, but he does need some kind of money. So he depends on YouTube. Now, I've done this before, but let me go to something here. Sorry to bore you, but I'm going to do this anyway. Let's see. All right. I'm going to go to Social Blade, which covers how much money someone is making through YouTube. It's not an exact science. Hold on, I did it for myself. Let me get it for him. Let's see, Social Blade. All right, let's see if we can get to it here. No, I'm not going to do it. Forget it. If you go to if you type in Google Social Blade, I have a goofy search engine right now. So but you can do it yourself. If you go to Social Blade space MaKaElectric, you'll see a rough estimate about how much he's pulling in. The last time I checked, about a week ago, it was about $3,400 a year estimated on his YouTube channel. Okay, so the point is this: that money is what he needs to make in order to survive. Not that he's getting $3,500 a year from YouTube, but he's getting something from it. So the more people he draws to his channel, the more views he gets, therefore it's monetized more. He gets more money. So it's really important for him, whether he believes it or not, and I don't know if he does or not, I can't say that, but it's extremely important for him to get on the air and say, no, that's ketchup, and that's a mannequin, and the whole TSA shooting thing was a hoax. He needs to do that. It's in his DNA. He doesn't have a choice. He's got to keep his channel running. So what I would suggest to you is view his videos and come back to this idea. MaKaElectric considers himself part of the Patriot movement. We call it prep-tards. But he is someone who believes that the government, although we do have a very bad government, and Obama is one of the worst presidents ever, that the government is truly against the American people. That the U.S. government actually committed September 11, 2001. The government itself took down the Twin Towers. The government itself crashed a plane into the Pentagon. The government itself had people in the cockpit of the plane that ended up going into the field in Pennsylvania. That's what we're dealing with. So when someone such as this idiot here, Anthony Ciancia, is found to have in his backpack writings that support the, quote, Patriot movement, then people like MaKa, to get people continuing to go to his channel, have to point that out and say, in their mind, they don't say this on the air, but in their mind, they realize, uh-oh, we got to do something here because they're on to us. People like this idiot are nuts. They are crazy. And people who use something like this to get money from YouTube, whether they believe it or not, I would submit to you, are nuts as well. So he can quote the Founding Fathers all he wants. He can say stuff, he hasn't said it yet, but I know he's probably thinking that if there are papers that are pro-patriot movement in his backpack or in his coat, that they were planted there by the government officials who were first to this scene. If he wants to say, this is not a human being, it's a mannequin, can't do anything about that. We can only get on YouTube and offer a counter idea, a rebuttal. That's why there is a MaKaElectric rebuttal channel. Till next time.